Hello, my name is Lucy Morales. I am an associate broker with Wychock Real Estate. I also, with Dave, run the office in Hazelton. Mi nombre es Lucy Morales. Yo trabajo para la oficina de Wychock Real Estate. I wanted to do real estate since I can remember, but I never did anything about it because I had a really good job as a salesperson for a really big company, and I just didn't want to leave the security of that. Move forward to 2000, I moved to Hazelton to start all over again. And one day, about a year in, I look, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm wondering, what am I doing with my life? And a commercial came on TV about real estate, and it was like a light bulb. It's like, why can't I do it now? So I did. I got up very excited in the morning, and I called the real estate school, and I asked, when was the classes starting? And he said, today. And that was the beginning of my story in real estate. When I started real estate, I loved homes. I didn't love the people I didn't know. I didn't even know how much you get paid for doing real estate, but I did love homes. Once I started working with buyers, then I realized that there's a vulnerability with buyers, and a lot of them don't know. And when you help them and they actually see their dreams come true, there's something selfish about how you feel about that, because it is so great to see them accomplish something they did not think that they could. It is very important for you to get pre-approved, because you don't want to set yourself up for disappointment and go see a $200,000 home when you can only really afford 100, or vice versa. When you get pre-approved with a bank, you know that you can go see a home at ease, and that if you like the home, if you want this home, you have a very good chance of getting it, because the hard part is already over. Let me say this: when you work with buyers sometimes don't realize that them buying their first home sets them up for their future. Where sellers selling their home is, a lot of times, it sets them up financially, and it helps them move on to other things. So it's very exciting to see somebody that's selling the home because they going to accomplish something, and this is going to help them do it. It's very important to get a pre-approval with a lender, and we do have choices. It's not like you have to stick to one, and we can help you with that process from beginning to end. When a seller wants to list their home, one of the things that they should do, if it's wintertime, have your heat on. If it's summertime, don't let it be like an oven in there. First impressions is very important. Smell is very important. You walk in a house and it's clean and the house smells good. Right off the bat, that's just a first impression that will help you. I had somebody one time who bought a house because they opened a closet, and the closet was so neat that they figure if the lady could take care of that closet that way, they would take care of their home the same. When I list a property, I like to be prepared. I like to know, I do a CMA to get an idea of, and that's a comparative analysis, to get an idea of what this house may be worth. That's very helpful. I go within a 3-mile radius and I look at everything in that single home or doubles or whatever it may be. It's very important to price it correctly so it doesn't sit on the market and you don't have to keep going back and forth about reducing the price. If you don't price the property correctly, one, you get a bad reputation for listing houses above price. But more importantly for the seller, it's probably just going to sit there. When it comes to investors, I'm always amazed at the fact that this is such a small city and there's so many major companies that are here, and so many major companies that are yet to come. I think with investors, it's a totally different feeling from the first time buyers, and this is a dream. This is a totally different dream towards wealth. And I had a client who started out with a $25,000 half a double, and it is now a millionaire just little by little investing. And he started off with a $10,000 profit, and now look where he's at, and he retired. Renters, and I hate to say this, but sometimes you get into a renter's mentality and you think that you cannot afford where you live. But right now in Hazelton, rents are between $1,500 to $2,000. With that amount of money, you can actually buy a $200,000 home at about a 6% rate and still pay about the same thing. Um, Also, renters don't realize that when you go to a bank and you try to get pre-approved, the word no doesn't always mean no. And I think they're afraid. No could mean not now. But everybody takes a no as a no. If you don't have good credit, you can wait and work on that. Lenders will even help you and tell you, pay this off first, and then you may have to wait 6 months, you may have to wait a year. However, that no is just a not now. If there's anybody out there that wants to buy a house or list a house, what you need to know about me is that I don't give up. Regardless of whatever it is, it's easy sometimes to sell a house and everything goes smoothly. But when things don't, I am there to see it through. And it's very rare that I have one of my deals fall apart because I just don't give up. I care. It's not just about the money. Do we make decent money? Yes. If you work for it, yes. But to me, it's more important that the person that buys the home is happy, that I could sleep at night knowing that this person bought a home, they're happy with their home. And another thing is that a lot of people don't understand that when you buy a home for the first time, um, when you're looking for a home, you have to look and see how long you're going to be in this house. Because if you're going to be in this house 2 or 3 years and then you're going to buy something else, maybe you don't want to spend as much money. But if you're going to buy a home, your forever home, as they say, then you can spend a little bit more money because that's going to be your forever home. So you can afford to do that. If you're going to stay with it for 3 to 5 years, it's a good idea because more than likely you are going to make a profit out of this and then go on to other things. And that's when I come in and I help you with things like that. If there's new realtors out there that would like to get into the field, I would say as long as you work hard and as long as you do it for the right reasons, you're going to be successful. At the beginning, you may have to be a little bit patient. Sometimes it just doesn't happen overnight. However, put people first. The money will follow that as long as you put the interest of the buyer or the seller first, and everything else will follow. Do things right from the very beginning. Don't try to wing things. Don't try to skip things. And learn the right way. Learn from somebody that's going to teach you the right way to sell real estate. You're not a hustler. You're trying to, you got to remember these are people's dreams. So you got to be very careful with people's feelings. And that means a lot to me, as it would mean something to somebody else who really, really wants to get into the real estate business and really wants to make a difference in somebody's life.